The lie is that money is real, and yet it feels real. So real that life becomes about trying to get as much of it as possible. However, the truth is that money is a story, a symbol, a shared belief. Money is not real, but it's making many of us unhappy, which is real, and it's destroying the planet, which also is real. Money creates insane situations in the world. People go hungry not because food is scarce, but because they don't have enough money. According to the World Health Organization, 733 million people went hungry in 2023. There's 8 billion people in the world, so that's 1 in 11 people globally do not have enough to eat. And according to the UN Hunger Report, 2.3 billion people experienced moderate or severe food insecurity. That's more than a quarter of the world's population. Yet the economy is said to be working when those who can pay get fed and those who can't pay are left out. We've constructed a system where the ability to access the most basic necessities is mediated by financial status. If you have money, your needs are met. If you don't, the system looks away. And this is not seen as a flaw, it's seen as efficiency. We've built a civilization where the symbol of value matters more than value itself, where the hungry can be denied food because they lack the correct tokens. We use money to measure worth, and in doing so we've come to believe that people with money are worth more than people without. This is not abstract, it's embedded in our institutions. We sell visas to wealthy migrants while turning away the poor. We openly admit that those with more money are more desirable. Money is not wealth, it's not value, it's not real in the way that water, sunlight or time is real. It's a social agreement wrapped in history, reinforced by power, by the state, by the elites that control the system. At its core, money is just a promise, a shared story that says this is worth something because we agree it is. But the trouble is, we've forgotten that it's a story. We treat it as natural law, as sacred, as the reason we can or cannot act. This is really sad, but we've made money the arbiter of possibility, the gatekeeper of action. Life is only possible if you have money. The gate keeps you out if you don't. And we've forgotten that the gate was built by us. This is not a natural phenomenon. As Mariana Mazzucato argues in her book, The Value of Everything, we've confused price with value, rewarding activities that extract wealth while ignoring those that create it. Financiers, monopolists, market traders, landlords, they make billions without producing a single drop of nourishment, care or joy. Meanwhile, nurses, farmers and parents, the people who actually sustain life, are told that they're costs. We're sacrificing what matters on the altar of money. In the name of money, we destroy forests. We deny healthcare. We throw food away while people starve. We burn out workers. We privatise air, water, life. We've commodified, privatised the most basic human needs. One useful classification of human needs is Maslow's hierarchy. Maslow arranged our needs in a 5-level pyramid, from basic survival, food and safety, to higher psychological and self-fulfillment needs, love, esteem and self-actualisation. If money didn't exist, all of these needs could absolutely be met. However, in a capitalist, market-oriented world, many people do not even have the basic first-rung needs met. Money can buy physiological needs. It can to some extent buy safety needs. Perhaps it can also buy love and belonging, though a love that comes about because of money may not be what it seems. Even in a capitalist world, money becomes less important as we go up the needs hierarchy. Money definitely can't buy esteem or self-actualisation. In fact, the pursuit of money often obstructs these things. Of course, this hasn't stopped attempts to monetize this whole analytical framework. Basic needs are all sold to us at a price. There are more than enough resources in the world for everyone to have food, water, housing, to have the basics. Yet capitalism has commodified all these things. They're not provided as a right, they're provided because it's profitable to do so. When it comes to safety, healthcare, housing, even defence, they've all become industries. Markets now commodify security. When profit dictates who gets protection, the sacred becomes transactional. The more we allow commodification, the less safe we actually become. Love is sold through subscription to an app. Esteem can be bought through political donations. Even self-actualisation, the deep personal work of becoming fully human, is repackaged as lifestyle coaching or productivity hacks. In this system, each tier of the human experience becomes a market opportunity, and the higher the need, the more lucrative the offer. But something sacred is lost in the transaction. When needs are monetized, they're no longer freely given or shared. They're leased back to us at a price. And we do all of this with an astonishing confidence and arrogance, because the spreadsheet says that it's efficient, because the market says that it's rational, because people make profits from selling self-actualization. It's interesting to really consider how much wealth actually helps with meeting human needs. The truth is that wealth allows people to overconsume in relation to the first rung, physiological needs. We only need so much food and shelter, yet wealth allows us to keep spending on these basic items. Even safety needs can be bought, private healthcare, gated communities, but excess wealth risks keeping someone trapped in the overconsumption of the basic needs. This is why many wealthy people are not happy. Wealth can over-satisfy our lower needs, leaving us bloated but unfulfilled. Many wealthy people become trapped in excess, endlessly consuming comfort and convenience, while desperately lacking meaning, love and purpose. When we confuse money with value, we mistake something abstract, a myth, a fantasy for real life. We hoard the symbol and we let the substance rot. We measure life by income, not by nourishment. We track GDP while anxiety, loneliness and burnout soar. We treat the ability to pay as the right to live. We say we can't afford to care for the elderly while billionaires chase space fantasies. And we say there's no money to pay nurses while traders make millions from downturns in the market. It's not that we don't have the resources. It's that we've built a system that tells us we can't use them unless the sums add up. But here's the deeper truth. The maths is fiction. Part of the reason why it's fiction is that it's only partial. In economics, we even have a term that acknowledges this: externalities. Externalities are real costs or benefits that the market ignores. This terminology is a polite way of admitting that markets ignore much of what matters. The system itself recognises that it doesn't account for all costs. So how can we accept a system that fails to meet even the bottom rung of Maslow's hierarchy for so many? There's a real conflict and tension between the reductionism of capitalism, of markets on the one hand, and the mystery of life on the other. Let's be clear, money and markets are reductionist. Reductionism is the simplification of complex realities into a single flattened framework. In the case of capitalism, of markets, the full spectrum of human experience is reduced to a price. The market tries to put a value on everything, but there are some things that cannot be valued in this simplified way. How much is someone's love worth? How much is compassion and kindness worth? How much is a sunset worth, or a forest, or the earth itself? The answer is we just can't know, because these things are not commodities. They're mysteries. They're sacred. They're part of a living web of interconnectedness. A non-reductionist economics, a real economics, recognises plural forms of value. It holds space for the qualitative, the relational, the immeasurable, and yes, even the spiritual, not in a religious sense, but in the deeper sense of the word, that feeling of mystery, of awe, of connection to something larger than ourselves, the value of a forest, a moment of stillness, or a life well lived. These cannot be captured by a price tag. They belong to the realm of the sacred, and any economics that cannot make space for the sacred is ultimately too small for the human soul. So how do we escape the myth? This won't be easy, but the answer is one person at a time. Money is a powerful drug, a seductive addiction. Even when we want to give it up, we find we can't. Even when we know it harms us, we stay loyal to the myth. But more and more of us are questioning it. We know something is wrong. Even the rich, the insanely wealthy, often feel no real peace, no real fulfillment. A person can own millions and still dwell on the lower rungs of Maslow's pyramid, anxious, unsafe, unloved, isolated. I recently did a video with the proposition that you are the economy. You are the economy means recognizing that the economy isn't a thing out there. It's a mirror of what we believe, value and fear. And true change begins not with government policy or markets, but with a shift in consciousness. If you are the economy and you think money is the economy, then that's the economy you'll get. In order to change the economy, you must change what you value. Don't get me wrong here. I don't mean to tell you that you have to change if you're happy as you are. This isn't a lecture. If you're wealthy and happy, then good on you. What I'm offering is a proposition. If, like me, you sense that change is needed, then I'm suggesting it doesn't start from the top, not from government or institutions, but from within, from your own longing, your own choices, your own values. We don't have to wait. We can be free of the myth of money, and we can do it today. This isn't about abolishing money. It's about putting it back in its place. Money should serve life, not define it. We're at a point where we can decide, will we keep believing in money even as the real world dies around us? Or will we remember that value is not what we trade, but what we treasure? If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'd be really grateful for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.